Jean Lewis, Dog Wheelchairs. I'm glad you're tuning in. You need to stick with me. I'm going to tell you some very important information today. I always give you important information, but this is really good. I'm just going to deal with dogs that are mainly paralysed as well today. Some of the care that's needed for all of their essential well-being. I mean, obviously you take care of any dog, but if they're paralysed or unable, immobilised, amputees, you've got to take extra care with them because they can't do it themselves. For instance, a double amputee, they can't scratch anything out of their body because they've got no back legs. Find it very, very awkward. So you have to do it for them. So today we're just going to cover that. And to help you, because if you're getting worried about doing anything like this, you keep tuning into me on my podcast and you'll find that you get some great hints, little tricks and tips. So I'll start off with the care of your dog and their coat. Overall care, this is, right? Of course, dogs with mobility issues are more prone to skin irritations because they don't move so much, obviously. Also, urinary tract infections, all sorts of complications. So it's very important that you take care of their hygiene, their diet, medical conditions. Obviously, you're already going to be doing that. So, number one, keep your dog's skin clean. Use a cloth or a soft brush. Check for any signs of redness, inflammation or any sores, because dogs, like us, if they're lying in a position for too long, they can get pressure sores. So, if they're not going out and about on their wheels, their walking wheels, turn them round, every so often, if they can't move at all. I mean, Skylar can bob around on her two front legs. She can turn herself okay. Some dogs can't. So remember that. Very important as well. Always check the urinary and bowel functions. As with Skylar, we have to express her. Express her for a poop and express her for a bladder. I'll go into that in a little bit. You've probably already mastered that if you've got a dog that's incontinent or paralysed at the rear. Obviously you have to do that, so you're probably already doing it. But I'll go over it anyway, just in case. There's people out there who are trying to get to grips with it. We've got some little tricks you can do to help you. So, if you use diapers or pads, we don't use diapers. We feel that it would keep the urine onto the dog. So we just use the puppy pads really. Change them frequently, obviously, to prevent any infections, which is something you're probably already doing. What else? A balanced diet, and stick to the same one, because if they're having trouble pooping, you change the diet, as you know, you're going to change their bowel habits. So try and stick to the same diet that you've got that meets their nutritional needs and the weight management. You've got to remember the weight management, because even if they're in a wheels, you've got to think about their front legs and the weight that they're pulling. Yes, the wheels help, obviously, but they're still using their front legs. And you have to remember them, because you don't want them going, or your dog will become even more immobilised. What else do we want? Everything you do, if it's something medical, please speak to your veterinarian about anything that's needed. If it's a serious thing and something you can't handle, always go to them. Then, of course, your dog needs plenty of exercise. And not just exercise and the walking, they need mental stimulation. Skylar, if the front door's open, she bobs out and she'll run out on her 2 front legs and greet anybody who's walking past with a total look of love on her face. She loves people. So obviously, just like us, you need that psychological input for your dog, because they still want to do what they've always done. Run up to people, run up to other dogs. Play games, go for walks, and try any new activities that suit your dog. What they used to do before, mainly, dogs love to play hide and seek. We do that all the time with Luna and Skylar. Just when we're walking through the woods, we'll hide behind a tree. We don't go too far, obviously, because we've got to keep our eye on her. And then give her a whistle or call her. And it's just good fun. You'll see her running about looking for us. It's great. As I say, you're probably already expressing your dog if you need to do that. But we've got a few little tips. Obviously, you already know that expressing means manually emptying your dog's bladder or bowels, which of course is necessary for dogs who cannot do it themselves. So it's just a gentle pressure on the lower abdomen where the bladder is, and if you're not doing it quite right at the moment, don't worry, because neither was I. I'm still learning. It's not difficult once you're in the right spot. Don't give up. Just don't give up. Once you're in the right spot, it becomes quite easy. But also, if you write the times down, because even though they may be incontinent, like Skylar, she'll leak a little bit. That gives an idea then that she really needs expressing, but not always. So I keep a little chart, and she basically needs expressing probably 4 times a day. Some people might have to do more. Keep a little chart. We find that when we've been for a nice walk, say 15, 20 minutes, when she comes back, that's when she needs to be expressed. Obviously, the motion of walking on wheels has moved her internal bits around, and that's when we do it mostly, and of course before we go to bed. So there's just a little tip for you, really. Write a chart, because and it sort of comes out right these 4 times a day. We don't try when we first wake up, because there hasn't been any movement really to speak of. Go for a walk first. That's the morning walk, which she loves. Can't wait to get out the door. So remember that. The other thing is, if she's incontinent with a poop as well, we use Vaseline. There are different things on the market. You can't beat Vaseline. Mostly we can just lubricate round her anal passage, and if, that was quite hard to say, but that's what we do, and we just put some lubrication around, not too much. There's been a couple of times when it's been quite difficult for her. We just put some rubber gloves on, and then you may have to just go inside a little bit. But if you've got a paralysed dog, you're going to be used to this stuff, and it's to be expected. That's another thing. If you're thinking of rescuing a paralysed dog who needs all this doing for them, think carefully before you do, because it's a 24/7 undertaking. You've got to know that that's what you're going to have. But it's so rewarding to save a dog like that. I mean, Skylar's a double amputee. Your dog might still have their legs and just be immobilised. So, think about it carefully. We hope you're going to help rescue dogs who need a home, because they're the ones that are amputees or immobilised in some way, they're the ones that don't get picked most of the time. There are a lot of people out there, and people who we've met now, who specifically take dogs with disabilities. And that's great, because they don't get much of a chance. So if you're thinking of doing it or already doing it, great on you. Fair play. Got all my best wishes. So let's talk about emotional challenges. And that's not just for the dog that you've got. That's for you as well. Because it is emotional. It's really emotional to watch your dog, excuse me, trying to go to the toilet and having difficulties. Just because you have to help them is quite emotional. So, what are the emotional challenges of caring for the paralysed dog? It can be stressful, sometimes overwhelming, heartbreaking to see your dog struggle with their particular disability. And to deal also, let's not forget, the financial burden and practical aspects of it. Because when you buy the wheels, they need maintaining. Sometimes you might have to buy another set, change the wheels, buy more things for it, you know. But after taking on a dog like this, you're going to expect that. So we won't linger too much on that. You might feel guilt, sad, anger about the situation sometimes. It's important as well to acknowledge those feelings, talk to your friends, family, professionals. You can join online community groups, or there may be some in your area you can actually meet up with, support groups and forums. We talk to paralysed dogs, paralysed and three-legged dogs online. Lots of people. We've got good support system. Remember, you're not alone. It's okay to ask for help or a break. And if you get in with support groups, if you do want a bit of a break, a couple of days away, I'm quite sure that they'll lend a hand in caring for your dog while you're away. Preventing complications. Let's talk about that. How to prevent, and if they come along, manage complications that might arise from your dog's paralysis. This is also for people whose dogs are not paralysed. Any dog with mobility problems and using a wheelchair is going to need extra care. Just like I said before, simple things like they can't bring their hind leg up maybe and scratch their ear. So you imagine that, if you had an itch and you can't come up and scratch it, oh, drive you mad. So don't forget, especially in the summer when they get hot, you may have to remember, I mean, you know, it's not easy to remember that you might have to scratch your dog's ears for them when this arises. So all of these things need to be thought about. So, preventing complications. That could include, as I said before, pressure sores, urinary tract infections. You'll cope with that a lot if you make sure that your dog's bladder is as empty as it can be. So it's very important to express them. Any urine lying in their bladder for any amount of time can cause urinary tract infections, and you don't want them having it. Okay, if they do get one, you can pop off to the vet, get some antibiotics, but it's like us, you don't want too many of them, because in the end they get used to them, immune to them, and they can stop working. So prevention's better than cure. Don't forget, express, express, express. Okay, don't fall into the trap of trying to express too much, because then you'll get upset when nothing comes out. Maybe she just doesn't want to go. at that time. So watch out for pressure sores, muscle and respiratory problems. When you're not moving too much, these things happen. They happen to us. Have to excuse me, stick in my throat. So make sure your dog has a comfortable and clean bedding all the time, because obviously any I'm going to have a drink of water. I hope. Just trying to open it up. Yeah. Excuse me a minute. I'll get rid of that frog in my throat. Obviously. I hope. Ah, that's better. I forgot that the water was there. I'm chatting away that much. I didn't even see it on the table. So keep the bedding nice and clean. Change it frequently. Change your dog's position. So to prevent infections, all you've got to do is maintain their hygiene, monitor the urine. You can actually, if you go to the vet, I mean, it's quite expensive to get it checked all the time, so buy yourself a kit that you can use. Just check the urine once a week or a little bit longer than that, whatever you fancy. Check the urine. If it comes up the colour coded where there might be a problem, that's the time to go to the vet. It'll indicate that you may need a veterinarian visit. But do that first. We've got one, works great. When Skylar did have one, it came up onto where it should be to tell us that there was a problem. And then off you go to the vet. So that's a good tip for you. You'll find them online. Just go online and look for the kit. To prevent any muscle wastage, atrophy, encourage your dog to exercise. Use their front legs to prevent any respiratory problems. The more they walk, the better for them, because obviously they're using everything. You don't want them lying around too much. Also, you can consider physical therapy, acupuncture. There's not just medical tablets and medicines that you can have. You can use herbal, as I say, acupuncture, hydrotherapy, anything like that. Don't put strong chemicals around them. If you have a smoke, go somewhere else, go out the room. It's just, they don't want it around them because they already may have problems. If you notice any signs of anything unusual, such as coughing, vomiting, they're overly tired, much more tired than they normally are, obviously, book a veterinarian appointment, which you'd already know to do. There's your home. If you've already got a dog and the mobility problems have come, you've just got, there's your house, normal. When a dog is immobilised and maybe on wheels, it wouldn't be in the house, it may be on a drag bag or whatever, but it's going to be different for them. So what you've got to do, you might have to adapt your house slightly. I don't think it'd have to be major. Adapt your house. You might have to put a little ramp up if you have them on the settee. You can buy little ramps online that fold away. You can put them down so your dog can pop up the ramp, so they can still be independent basically, and up onto their favourite corner on your settee with you to have a cuddle. Obviously, if they're too disabled, they're not going to be going upstairs on their own. You might have to rearrange your furniture. One of the problems, and this is a biggie, with Skylar, she leaks. And as I say, we don't like diapers. I just don't. So it seems extreme, but what we've done, we've took all the carpets up. Yeah, pretty extreme. But hey ho, it's a nothing as to her having a lovely life. So we put vinyl down flooring, cushion flooring. And if she has a little accident, hey ho, so what? It doesn't really matter. Mop it up, give it a clean when you have to. And as long as she's happy and she's living her life to the full, because after all, she came through hell and high water before we got her. And I've said before, she's such a brave dog. Crushed, still give birth to all the puppies, and then had to have a rear legs amputated. Sad story, but you know, she's living the best life now. Sometimes we get comments. All of our comments are great. It's very rare that they're not. And some people will put a little sad face and, oh, I'm so sad for her, it's terrible. Well, yeah, it seems like that. And it'd be great if she didn't have to have been crushed or lose her legs. That would have been better, but it's what happened. But you know what? Don't be sad for Skylar, because Skylar's not sad. Skylar is running about like a good one. She's having the time of her life. She does everything. She goes everywhere with us. We go on a little holiday. She goes. Go at the foot of a mountain. She goes. Goes in the water. She goes everywhere. And you can see when a dog is fed up. Though the tail's down, I mean, Skylar's is because she's paralysed at the back. But you'll always know if our little pug's a bit under the weather, a bit upset, her tail's down. You don't need a vet to tell you, you can see yourself. So, all you lovely viewers out there, please don't be sad for Skylar. With her disabilities, it's not stopping her. She's having a wonderful time and everybody loves her. People actually come down to see her, and kids come to see her, they love her. So let's just celebrate the fact that your dog, even with their problems, is still your dog, and you need to celebrate everything that they can still do with the aid, actually, of the miraculous dog wheels. They are 99.9% of making your dog happy. There's nothing better than seeing your dog who can't move. You pop them in those wheels and they run. And a lot of them, they do run. I have to run to catch Skylar. So, despite her disability, I mean, she tries to jump. She still tries to jump a fence. She forgets that she's got the wheels on the back. Well, of course, we can't be letting her do that. So just focus on your dog's strengths like we do with Skylar. We look at all her great points and her intelligence, her loyalty. And you know what? Most of all, out of all of that, do you know what's most important? That it makes us humble. Her courage. She has such courage to come through everything that she came through. So, she deserves the best life, and she's got it here with us. I'm going to go now. I want you to go to the link on the right hand corner. Go to our shorts. It will take you straight to our shorts. I just want to mention Mr. Maynard, who's come through to us. He's done a mix with some of our videos, and we're so grateful. He's done a lovely job. Use as many as you like, Mr. Maynard. They're great. We love what you've done. Love your videos. We've subscribed, obviously, way back. Also, thank you to all of your people who have come over to look at our videos and podcasts. They're great. They're absolutely brilliant. I've had some lovely comments from them. So keep on viewing, and please tune in again. Some of my podcasts I'm going to do. This is all information which is really needed. But some of the podcasts I'm going to do in the future as well are going to be a bit more full of fun as well, because these dogs want fun. So I'll see you soon. Don't forget, smash the subscribe button. Every time you do that, we have more people. Thank you so much for viewing, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.